Hi, I'm Tom Gibbons, one of the instructors for the CIS 2011 computer architecture class. For this class, we're going to be doing a number of hardware labs, and we're going to need you to buy a single board computer called a Raspberry Pi and some accessories for that. So here's a quick rundown on that. That'll go along with this email. So first you're going to need a Raspberry Pi. They're the older Model 4s, and there's some Model 5s out there. Now, just so you know, in the last couple of years since the pandemic, there was a huge shortage of Raspberry Pis, and so a lot of people bought them and sold them for a profit here. But now, in the last 3 months, supply is brought down, and so you should be able to get good prices from some of the suppliers out here. But there are, just watch, there's people on eBay and Amazon who are still trying to sell these for huge profits, for like twice as much as they should be sold for. So I'll show you some links to where to get them in just a sec. And again, if you want to know, the 5 is a little faster, better, all of that stuff. And if you want, you can just Google the difference between them or watch a video that'll show you the difference between them. But these are two different options right now. Then you need some accessories to power this up. You're going to need a power supply that powers this up, a USB-C, high wattage power supply, a case for it, an HDMI cable. The Pis have an output that's a micro HDMI, so we need either an adapter or a micro cable on one end and standard on the other end. Sometimes, especially with the Raspberry Pi 5, there are heat sinks or fans that are sold often with the cases, so sometimes that's optional to get those. And then you need an SD card here. Now, most of the stuff I don't think you have. The SD card you might have around. Again, anything that's 16 gigabytes or larger should be fine. You'll have to wipe it and reformat it and stuff. So do that. Now, to help you decide where to buy, I've got a little spreadsheet here for where to buy it. I'm just going to pop that up here too. So here's the Raspberry Pis. And again, there's the Pi 5, which is a newer one. It comes in 4 and 8 gigabytes. The Pi 4, which is now the 4B or 4B Plus or whatever it is now, is in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 8 gigabytes. I recommend probably the 2 or the 4 as far as price points go and stuff like that. So I just listed those, although any of them will actually work of the Pi 4s here. And so again, if you look on Amazon, there are no good deals right now on Amazon for these. But DigiKey sells them for $45 up to $80, and that's what Adafruit sells them for, and CanaKit. These are three suppliers we often deal with these sort of stuff, and they all have their standard pricing on these now that there isn't a pandemic. And so all of them are selling them basically at the standard pricing levels for this. And again, then you'll need these accessories here. And again, the Pi case is a little different between the Pi 4 and the Pi 5, so I've listed those separately here. This is the Pi 4 kind of column. Here's a Pi 5, same here. And same with the power supply. The power supply has to be a little larger or a little more watts for this. This. And again, your standard cell phone charger is not going to be able to provide enough power for this Raspberry Pi. You're going to need something like 20 to 27 watts here for this. Here, if you have a fast or one of the new high-speed, high wattage chargers, that would work. Like the 60 watt or 30 watt chargers would work here. And again, you need this micro cable. So you can get these all individually. So if you go to DigiKey or Adafruit, you can buy your Pi, and then you can add all these things to your cart here. But some of these don't have the best prices on them here. So actually, the cheapest one is actually this spot on Amazon, which has just all these accessories in one little bundle for $25. And again, sometimes you'll see other ones like that. So it has the power cable, the case, the micro to regular HDMI cable, the a fan, heat sinks, and the SD card there. So That's and then you can also buy it separately from Amazon too, but I couldn't find a better rate than this one. So again, you can choose any of these or mix and match these. And again, if you don't need an SD card, that's fine. So now the next thing you're going to need is some electronics. We're going to have to connect this Pi up to a breadboard and wire up certain fun little experiments and stuff like that. So you need about $20 of parts here, and those are listed here. CanaKit has some standard Pi bundles here. Basically this sort of stuff for $25. But Amazon also has similar stuff here. And again, there are a number of different ones. This is just one that's out there. We do need this T bracket, which is called a GPIO bracket, and this cable here for that. And then some of this other stuff, and you generally get in a breadboard here. And so that's all listed in this equipment list, what you need, minimal stuff. And again, you get a lot more stuff in some of these areas. Now, the actual cheapest alternative is Amazon to go with two parts here. This one part is just the breadboard with the connectors here and this little T brace that lets you connect to, which are called the GPO ports. That and then just a standard electronics kit. Um, and this is just one of their standard electronic kits. There's lots of them out there, but it just has, some resistors and capacitors and buttons and LEDs and that sort of stuff in it. And again, there are different options for those. So again, that's a nice, cheap alternative. So again, you can choose one of those packages or build your own if you want here. The last thing you're going to need is some computer parts. You need a keyboard and a mouse here. Um, that work with kind of a Linux system, and so usually just a nice USB corded one works fine. Often people have old ones around, or you can borrow them. So see if you can borrow one from a friend or some your house or something like that. See if you can get a hand on a keyboard or mouse. If you're working in the computer labs, when we're in the computer labs, we just borrow them from the computers that are in the labs. So if you're on campus, you really don't need these. We'll borrow those. And same with the HDMI monitor or some TV or something like that. In the labs, we'll just use the monitors that are in the labs and plug them into our Pi. So for people on campus, you don't need these. But if you're on your own, online students, you're going to need access to these. So any sort of HDMI TV or monitor will work. And again, any sort of mouse and keyboard generally combination will generally work. And again, if you need something, here's some alternatives that you can just buy if you want. Okay, try to get these by the first week of class here. By the second week, we'll be using these in class. So good luck. Feel free to contact me, Tom Gibbons, if you have any questions.